Hey, Village!
We know we're gonna get ice cream after.
That's a great way to start this.
If we listen.
All right, I'm doing a mommy and me type of family photo shoot, and yes, I bribed specifically Sawyer with ice cream afterwards. You guys know how it is. You gotta make sure, you get the bribes.
We're getting ice cream, and after the pictures, we're gonna play at the picnic, and we're gonna find the eggs at the picnic. Oh, I love it.
Sounds like fun. So we are here at Caesars Creek, and there's a family portrait photographer who's meeting us, and it's a beautiful day, and the kids got a nap, so things are going fairly well.
I love Caesars Creek. We're gonna even get ice cream.
So we have a blanket, we have snacks. Darcy took care of packing up all the snacks.
Yeah.
We have Penny, so Penny's gonna be a part of the photo shoot too.
Woo-hoo. And if you want to Penny's, I will show you.
Oh, well,
Penny right here.
there's Penny. We've got some water for her, and yeah, here's to hoping that this is a successful photo shoot. So Village, the photo shoot ended up, even though it felt really chaotic, I already got a preview of some of the pictures, which I'll show you here. And overall, I'm just so incredibly thrilled to have captured these moments. And I'm definitely someone who prefers the candid, natural moments. Like those are the photographers that I'm drawn to, which is why I picked Casey with Moon Goddess Photography. So the posed ones, would I like to have one really good picture where we're all looking and smiling at the camera and Sawyer's not have a big snot bubble or making a goofy face, or Darcy is pushing me over? Sure, but these are just so freaking perfect. Oh, I'm so excited. So that was a little Mother's Day gift to myself. Mother's Day is coming up this week, and I want to talk about being a foster caregiver, and specifically a foster mom, while celebrating holidays like Mother's Day. And so before I dive in, I just want to acknowledge that, and I feel like this is just a standard disclaimer for everything that I talk about, I want to acknowledge that every child, every family, every case is going to be different. When I talk about a topic like this, I'm giving suggestions, things that I have learned along the way, things that I have heard about and want to try the next time. As I learn and grow, I'm sharing, just what my experiences have been. So when it comes to Mother's Day, being a foster mom and having a child in your care who has a mom in their life who, they're separated from because they're experiencing foster care, it can be challenging. Your relationship with that child is going to vary. The relationship with the primary biological family is going to vary, but hopefully you can find some value in this conversation. And as always, please feel free to comment below any tips that you have. I do want to again stress, especially on this topic, be mindful of language. We're going to be really inclusive. We're not going to bash biological or primary families on this channel at all. I will not stand for it. You will automatically get removed from the channel. I don't tolerate it. And that wasn't always the case. When I started as a foster caregiver, I had the same, misconception that the primary families are bad. They're bad people. And this is years ago, but it's not that I would openly talk about that or acknowledge it, but it was kind of ingrained. Like, you know, there's something wrong with them for them to have had their kids removed. And at this point in my fostering journey, I acknowledge that these are families who are experiencing hardships the same way that I experience hardships. It's just, I haven't had my kids taken away, you know, because of those hardships. And we can talk about relationships with the primary family in a separate video, but I just want to bring this up because regardless of your relationship, this is still a really important day. You're gonna have a child in your care who either has a mom that they cannot be with because they're experiencing foster care. They don't have a mom in their life, which is gonna bring up different emotions. They might have a mom in their life that they have a challenging relationship with, as do we all, right? Like, definitely a child in your care may have complex feelings about you and about their own parent. So I want to stress the importance of taking inventory, you know, coming from a place of neutrality, not judging the child, not judging the family, and just evaluating the situation as you approach a holiday like this. Now, if you have a case and a caseworker and you're working with a family who, you know, maybe they're closer to reunification, or maybe they're not, you know, gonna reunify, but there's a positive relationship with the primary family, check with your caseworker. A lot of times as a foster caregiver, you can supervise community visits. So that would look like, hey, we don't have a scheduled visitation on Mother's Day, but hey, caseworker, can we arrange for something where mom picks up the kids and takes them to a movie, takes them to the park, or can I go with them to the park and kind of be off to the side while they have their time together? Try to create something. If the case is going to work, I would definitely recommend like creating something on that day. If you can't do that in person for whatever reason, physical location, schedules, the nature of the case and where the case is at, then definitely phone call or video call if you can do that as well. So if there's a relationship with the parent, arrange for those lines of communications to be open. Something else that I like to do is leading up to it, and it depends on the age of the children, maybe first start by, you know, talking to them and asking questions about emotions, feelings, thoughts that are coming up as Mother's Day approaches. And this also goes for Father's Day as well. And if the child, you know, kind of talk them through some of the emotions that might be happening. And again, based on the age, you know, ask them what would be the most supportive. Like, what do they want to do? Do they want to make their parent something like a card, a gift? Do they want to go shopping and pick something out? Do they want it to be just a normal day and, you know, they really don't want to acknowledge the holiday at all? So having that conversation can be supportive. When it comes to the younger kids, you know, definitely in the comments talk about that, because I don't specialize in young kids. I do school age, but predominantly teenagers, so I can have those conversations. I would imagine with younger kids, a holiday like this is not going to be a huge deal unless we make it a big deal. There are opportunities to still have these conversations, still have those touch points for Mother's Day and Father's Day, but maybe not putting too much stress on it because it would highlight the fact that they're not able to be with their parent. So talked about relationships, meeting up, gifts, the day of or leading up to or immediately following a holiday like this. Just expect there to be big emotions and, you know, maybe unpredictable behaviors. This is where, you know, try to lean on your support system, like your village. So your family, your friends, you know, can they take care of dinner one night? I wouldn't plan anything like really extravagant, probably keeps things really chill so that you can adapt. Something that I like to do, especially when I have, you know, a placement during a holiday like this, is I like to host, because then I know that the child, teenager, can go to their safe space. So we're not going to an event, and this isn't always the case, but I do give them an option. Like if I have a family member who's hosting an event, you know, hey, do you want to go with us or would you rather stay home? Like I can stay home with you, you know, what do you want? But Otherwise, I would host just so that the child or the teen can, have their separate space so that they can like remove themselves if something is coming up for them. And something else that is tricky to navigate, and I don't think that there's a right answer, when you have children of your own, whether by birth or adoption, and then you also have foster caregivers, a holiday like Mother's Day, my kids are going to want to express their love and appreciation for me, not shutting them down and saying that they can't do that. But if there was another young child, that could trigger them. That could trigger those emotions. So again, this is where that trauma-informed parenting, like really just put on that trauma-informed goggles. I'm actually imagining we make trauma-informed goggles that you're like looking at the world through. Okay, I'm gonna make that like an animation. That would be really cool. But like put on your trauma-informed goggles for this. Like these are the moments you should have them on all the time, but we're human, so life happens, we get caught up. But on big days like this, really be intentional about watching a child's behavior, how their mood is shifting. Notice things that are maybe not typical and have a conversation, maybe give them space. If it's a younger kid, they might want to have more like reassurance, or they might act out. So yeah, it's kind of an unpredictable thing. So just be ready, like manage your expectations. A lot of being a foster caregiver is just manage your expectations. Don't expect a child to come in and be super clear about what's happening in their brain and in their heart and be able to navigate through stuff like that. Like really have patience and be flexible. Like it's one of those traits that as a foster caregiver, you can practice it, but that I've gotten better over the years. Like I was much more rigid before becoming a foster caregiver, and I've done a lot of personal development that has supported me in this as well. But even just going through being a foster caregiver, learn to kind of roll with things a little bit more. If you're too rigid with plans or expectations, no, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. You're not going to be serving the child, the primary family, your own family, yourself, and acknowledge yourself for being a foster parent on a day like this. Like, yes, you get to be celebrated. You get to be acknowledged. There is a place for you. There is a need for you to support this child and this family while they're experiencing this crisis. The invitation is just to have the sensitivity and respect to have a both and, yes, you can be celebrated, but also there's respect and honestly honor to that child's primary parent. And again, it could be challenging. Like you might have judgments coming up because, what if a child has a mom who wants nothing to do with the child? What if they're addicted to alcohol, drugs? What if they're in an abusive relationship and they're allowing their partner to abuse their children? There's a lot of judgment that can come up. And so it really is important to practice empathy and understanding. This is a generational cycle, most likely. We're not taught as kids to accept that or to be addicted to drugs, alcohol. We're not programmed to accept abuse from anyone. And so a lot of times that parent has experienced it and it's all they've known. And without support, without resources, how do we expect them to heal so that they can bring their family back together? So I acknowledge there are some really challenging situations. I've seen them, I've heard them. They will break your heart. They will so break your heart. But at the end of the day, that parent who is struggling, they're human too. And so just a little compassion and empathy for each other is gonna go a long way. Ooh, didn't realize I was gonna get emotional on that. But yeah, this is the mental and emotional load that we carry as foster caregivers. It's a heavy role. We carry a lot of this. And so on a day like Mother's Day, take care of yourself. Yes, the bubble baths, the glass of wine, the facial, those things are nice, but self-care can also look like meditation, a walk, extra intentional hugs with your kids. Just take care of yourself, take care of your body, take care of your mind, take care of your heart. And from one foster mom to the village of foster moms, those who want to be, those who don't. but who are caregivers in some way. Happy Mother's Day. It doesn't need to be a specific day to be celebrated and to acknowledge yourself and each other. So again, feel free to drop in the comments anything you'd like to add to the conversation. Please be respectful, be mindful of confidentiality, and I will see you next time.